Hey lovely sexy people. Right, so welcome to today's video, which is going to be a quick look at the Space Marine land speeder, which has just recently gone last chance to buy, being discontinued, which is a shame. I'm a Dark Angels player, so land speeders are quite integral to the Raven Wing, and it's a real shame that we're not going to be able to order them for the Raven Wing. But hey, there you go. Anyway, it comes in, this one came in this box, which is just basically a generic Warhammer box with what it is on the on a label on the front. There was no cellophane wrapper on it, and essentially this is what we got inside. So we get our destructions, we get our 3 sprues, and we got a Ultramarines decal sheet, as well as the flying stand. Let's have a quick look at the destructions. So fairly basic. Goes together basically the hull and main body, and then the main parts of the ancillaries, like the pitot tube at the front, airspeed indicator sort of thing, the pilot's gunner, a sensor mount for underneath, part of the anti-grav system I assume this thing is here, and so on. And then we've got the weapon systems fit on the last page. So we can either have a standard land speeder, land speeder Tempest, which is fitted with an assault cannon, or a land speeder Typhoon, which is fitted with a rocket launcher. Now, the other weapons fit is either a pintle mounted heavy bolter or pintle mounted multi-melter for the gunner's seat. You also have the option for the Tempest with a heavy flamer mounting, so that's an option. Now, if we take a look at the sprues, let's start with the bottom. So the bottom of the land speeder is nicely detailed. We've got all these little nodes on it, which I assume are supposed to represent the anti-gravitic system that helps the land speeder levitate and fly. There's our pitot tube, our underslung sensor suite, the skirt for the anti-grav system. We've also got part of the mount here for the nose mounted assault cannon or heavy flamer, the control pad, 1 searchlight, the steps for getting in and out, the pintle rail for our crew mounted heavy bolter or multi-melter on that bit. The next bit, we've got our interior here, our pilots. So the pilots are already here seated, and then obviously we've got the torsos and the relevant arms and heads. I've got the Raven Wing upgrade sprue, so I will probably look to try and put maybe a Raven Wing torsos on, which would be nice. And then we have our heavy bolter and our heavy flamer, the sides. Doors here, so a standard land speeder has these enclosed doors. If you're going for the Typhoon, then you'll need these open doors to allow the Typhoon rocket system to feed through into the main compartment. And then the final sprue here, we've got our Typhoon missile system just there. The backs of the seats, we've got the engine exhaust rockets here, turbines. We've got the top of the hull here, our heavy flamer and assault cannon, and we also have a set of iconography for, it would ordinarily be Ultramarines, Space Wolves Blood Angels and Dark Angels. But my partner, I gave the Blood Angels to her as she's collecting Blood Angels. So there you go. Standard flying base. They are. I like these flying bases. They're not too much of an issue for me. I get on with them. You know, so you can either keep them clear if you so wish, or you can do what I do, and I actually, you know, flock them and put scenic bases on in the same way that I would an ordinary base. So options include, as I said, the Landspeeder Typhoon. I've got one which I'm in the process of painting here, and as you can see, the rocket pods go on the front. This will have, I think I've chosen a multi-melter. Yeah, multi-melter to go in here, and I tend to keep the crew separate, put them in once I've painted them, put the gun on once I've painted it. I've used a double lamp assembly, which is part of the Raven Wing upgrade sprue, and obviously I've got some Raven Wing iconography on these, etc., as well as Dark Angels motifs, etc. So that's your Landspeeder Tempest, Typhoon. Ultramarine decals sheet there. Right, the other option, as a Dark Angels player, you are able to make a Ravenwing Talon Master. Now, the interesting thing is that this used to be Samil on his this particular loadout used to represent the option to put Samil in his Landspeeder called Sable Claw, but obviously I think from 8th or 9th they've decided that they are just going to have this as the Ravenwing Talon Master. So you can trick it out. You got twin linked heavy bolters, twin linked assault cannons. The Talon Master has a power sword. You've got obviously extra bits like this Rectana here, and some other bits and pieces. I tend to model, I tend to use like pistols to represent the fact that as a start is they have pistols, etc. As a personal sidearm, and that's kind of how I rock and roll with my Talon Master, which used to be my Samil in Sable Claw, and in Sable Claw it was actually quite a beast on the field of play. So let's have a quick look. So you get the Landspeeder Typhoon, which is the one I've got, and it's got 14-inch movement, toughness 7, 3-up save. It's got 6 wounds, it's a leadership 6, and objective control number 2. Various weapons, so you can have your heavy bolter or multi-melter. The Typhoon missile launcher, you have frag or crack. So the frag is 2d6 attacks, and the crack is 2 attacks. The ballistic skill's 3-up. The strength is 4 for the frags and 9 for the crack. It's 0 AP for the frag, minus 2 AP for the crack, and the damage is 1 and d6 for the crack missile. So that's that. Pretty much all of the Landspeeder variants have the same stat line. So Landspeeder, oh, it's not a Tempest, sorry, my mistake, it's Landspeeder Tornado, not Tempest. I do apologise for that. Right, so Landspeeder Tornado, they're all basically the same, you know, regardless. The Talon Master has twin assault cannon, which is 24-inch range, 6 attacks, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 6, AP 0 and 1 damage. But the twin heavy bolter is a 36-inch range. It's got 3 attacks, it's ballistic skill 3 up, strength 5, it's -1 AP and 2 damage. And then obviously the power weapon in there as well. So yeah, there you go. Those are the main options. Certainly for me as a Dark Angels player, I am going to miss this. But if you come back in a moment, we'll build one. All right, see you in a second. Hey, lovely people. So we've had a look at the instructions for our land speeder. So let's get it built. I'm going to go with, is it the Tempest? Doesn't say, that just says land speeder. So I'm going to go with a land speeder tornado, not Tempest. I keep calling it Tempest. Why do I keep calling it Tempest? Don't know. But I am magnetising the weapons loadout. So I will just quickly show you what I've done. I've just drilled a 3mm hole and then super glued a 3mm magnet in just here, and then the square recess, if you just ream it out slightly with a 3mm drill bit, then it will happily take a 3mm magnet. And these are the weapons brackets. Now, because I'm a Dark Angels player, I've got additional weapons mounting brackets because we get these on the Raven Wing upgrade sprue. So I've got 2, which means I can just swap them out. And what I will do is just glue the weapons, the heavy flamer and the assault cannon onto that. But let's get building. So stage 1, first thing we want to do is glue the dashboard into our cockpit area, which is just going to go in like so. Right, do apologise if you can hear stuff from outside going on. Now, next thing we want to do is pop the doors into here, and they will only go one way round. And obviously if you were building the Typhoon, the missile armed version, then you would use the doors which have the slot cut into them. So both of these just get done like that. Once you've done that, we've also got this is the back seats, and that goes this bit, which is keyed, so it's only going to go on one way. So that's that, and then we're going to just start slotting this together. So the sides kind of like slot in downwards, and the good thing is that a lot of this can be glued from the inside. And then the same on this side. So literally you're just gonna line it up and just slot it in downwards like so. We're also going to pop in the floor plan, or floor pan I should say. That's it. Okay, and then this is going to go in, and I have done this slightly out of step, so this is my own fault, but not the end of the world. So once you've done that, you've got your top cover coming on, and this just slots on down into position like so. And then the rear thruster pack goes in there like that. So that's your basic shape. One of the things that I'm going to add in now is this sighting system for the pilot, and that just goes in there like that. And then you've got this aerofoil which goes on, and make sure you get it around the right way. So the flaps for it are there, and there's, I'm assuming this is, I'm going to say this is like a formation light or something like that, because I'm assuming this makes the airspeed indicator. And then this is just going to go on the front like thus. And then the armoured windscreen is going to go on there like thus. And then we have this kind of sensor array which goes on the bottom just there like so. Okay, now I'm just going to get my flying base and just pop that on the flying base like so. Next thing to go on is the rail for the pintle mounted heavy bolter or multi-melter. So oops, get back on there. Now, ordinarily, you would add in the skirt, which would go on there, and then the boarding steps. But I like to keep those separate so that I can paint them separate because they're different colours. But let's move on to making this a Dark Angels vehicle, shall we? So, as you can see, I've got Raven Wing icons and the Dark Angel symbol on the front of my previous Raven Wing builds. So we'll pop this on first. Get this aligned and as straight as possible. I think that's it. And then the Raven Wing icons just here on the aileron thing. So, okay with that. And then one there like that. So that's those both on. And then I've got some purity seals. So how about we stick one what do you reckon? Like one about there. Like that, and another one just here. Like so. So that's the vehicle as it stands at this moment in time. Just pop that on. Oh, no, it's not going to stay on, typical. Right, now pilot and gunner. Now I'm using a torso from the Raven Wing bike squad sprue. It's got a couple of Raven Wing icons on the chest there. So And then the next one, which I'm just using one of the chests from the kit, one of the torsos, complete torso from the kit. Okay. Sort the arms out in a mo. I need those to go off for a little bit. Right, let's make these weapons, the underslung weapon systems up. So on the, you've got a little tab here, which you haven't got on the front. So make sure that this is towards the back of the vehicle. With your heavy flamer, you've got 2 canisters that will go on like so. And then making sure you get this orientated right, so that the little tab is facing towards the rear. There's 2 pins on each of these which locate into 2 holes. So one, let's just leave that to go off slightly. Actually, I need to put that on the other side because of this protrusion there. And then with this one, put your ammo box on first. Like so. And then that's going to need to go that way round. That's that. And then you've got lamps, 2 lamps. I've got spares, which is why I'm making up one of each weapon system. As I explained earlier in the video, my spares came from the Raven Wing upgrade sprue. So one gunnery lamp there, and then I can put the other gunnery lamp on there, like so. There you go. So those are the weapons, and they will fit on like that. And I've just used a 3mm magnet and that one as well, so I can swap these out, which is quite nice. Let's put that back on his. Right, coming back to the weapons team and the pilot. So again, with the Raven Wing upgrade sprue, I've got shoulder pads, Raven Wing shoulder pads. You can see those, and those are going on my guys. And again, for ease of painting, these guys are going to be made up, but not glued into the cockpit. So the first one I'm going to do is the co-pilot, the gunner. So these guys pretty much just sit in to the back, and then what I need to do is just get a position. I'm going to go with a multi-melter. So what I'm going to do is pop his arms on, and then dab some glue. because I get a little bit of flexible working time, pop him in, and then move the arms up slightly. Yep, that'll do. So I'm going to let those go off before I add anything else. With the multi-melter, you've got some canisters that go on top of this. And I'm never 100% certain which way round these go, but let's do it that way round. And then if you were making the heavy bolter, that would go in and that would locate this side like so. There you go, in there towards the front. Right, bingo. So that's that. Right. Pilot, I'm going to pop his head on because, let's face it, at the end of the day, he's probably going to be mostly looking forward. Now, this is where it gets a little bit fun because you need to be able to glue his arms on. But he's obviously got hold of a joystick there. So he needs to get that located in position, and then push that down. Too far. Right, so that's that, and then the other arm goes on, and that's kind of like a throttle, and that locates on the end of the dash. So his other arm needs to go kind of there. Like so, and I'm going to allow that to just rest so that the glue goes off slightly. Right, and I'm going to go with a Raven Wing head that I pulled off the Raven Wing upgrade sprue. He's got a extra bit because he's sighting, he's the gunner. Right, and then I can pop on the shoulder pads as well. So gunner, and the pilot. Then once I've painted up the torsos for the gunner and the pilot, I will super glue them into position. Okay, and there we have it. Right, so pilot, gunner, there's that. So we've got the option to put on either the heavy flamer or the assault gun, or we can go, well actually I'm just going to go with the multi-melter for the gunner. So I will just stick my multi-melter on once I've painted up the weapon system. But there you go, that's it in its constituent parts, ready for painting. Okay, join me in the next video. Take care, bye bye.